So this is the unit circle, which is either like your best friend in a trig class or your worst enemy, one of the two. So let's get this thing started off with, we use degrees and radians. The degrees are pretty simple. This is going to be 0 degrees, or if you go full circle, 360 degrees. Now 0 degrees is 0 pi is a pi radian. Full circle is twice pi because pi is 180 degrees. That's what it is. And we're just going to do the easy ones here. Here we'd cover half a circle, that'd be 180 degrees, or it would be pi. Up here would be 90 degrees, or it would be or it would be half of pi, literally pi over 2. All right, so we're down here. We've covered 3/4 of 2 pi. That's what we've covered. So it would be 3 pi over 2. Or we are 270 degrees. Those are the easy ones, the ones everybody gets. Those are usually pretty good. Everybody also gets a couple of easy points. It's a unit circle. So the radius is by default 1. That would make this 1, 0. This would be 0, 1. A couple of kids get that backwards. I've seen that repetitively over the years. That whole XY confusion. We would run back 1. We wouldn't go up or down, -1, 0. These are usually the ones that your most basic kid can get, is those 3 things right there. Now I need to start working on some other things here. This happens to be a 30-degree angle. And pi, remember, was 180. 180 divided by 30 is 6, so pi over 6. And there's 30, 60, 90 patterns out there. The common one from geometry, at least here in America, is x root 3 twice x. Now, if I let the radius be 1, because this is a unit circle, this becomes 1/2, and this becomes root 3 over 2. So to get to this ordered pair, I had to go right root 3 over 2 and up 1/2. Right root 3 over 2, up 1/2. All right. From here, I'm going to look at the next angle, which happens to be a 45-degree angle. And the patterns we teach in geometry for a 45, 45, 90 triangle are x root 2. But since I have a radius of 1, that makes these pieces root 2's over 2. So to get here, I have to go right root 2 over 2 and up root 2 over 2. All right, the last one that matters to me is this one right here. It's a 60-degree angle, so all of this is 60. And remember, I had a 30, 60, 90 earlier. Root 3 over 2 is opposite of that. So I go up root 3 over 2, and I went over 1/2. This was root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, and this was right 1/2, up root 3 over 2. And use some common sense when you're filling in your blanks. Obviously, you went to the right just a little bit, you went up more. So the second number has to be bigger. Symmetry is what gets you quadrant 2. Just symmetry. Back 1/2, still up root 3 over 2. Back root 2 over 2, still up root 2 over 2. It's about symmetry. Back root 3 over 2, up 1/2. And it's about symmetry with all these. If you're sitting pretty in quadrant 3, both x and y are negative. And you just use symmetry. Just follow your diagonal, okay? Negative root 3 over 2, negative 1/2. Follow z diagonal. Negative root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2. Follow the diagonal. Negative 1/2, negative root 3 over 2. And just keep using symmetry. If you're in this quadrant, only y is negative. Root 3 over 2, negative 1/2. Root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2, and then 1/2, negative root 3 over 2. Most kids are also able to correctly get the coordinates if they can get the first quadrant done, because the first quadrant is where it's all at. All right, again, this was 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and then we have 60 degrees. And most kids can also add around. The big slices are 30s, okay? The little slices are 15. 90 plus 30 is 120. 135, 150. 30-degree slice, 210. 15-degree slice, 225. 240. 30-degree slice, 270. 30-degree slice to 300. 15-degree slice, 315, 15-degree slice, 330, 30 to 360. It's the radians they struggle with, so you really have to memorize quadrant 1. 30 is pi over 6. 45, 180 divided by 45 is 4, pi over 4. 180 divided by 60 is 3, pi over 3. Now it takes two 120s. It takes two 60s to equal 120. So it takes two of these pi over 3s to make that 120. 2 pi over 3. It takes three 45s, so it takes three of these pi over 4s. It takes 5 30s to be 150. So it takes 5 of these pi over 6s, which is 5 pi over 6. All right, the last two quadrants come from kind of the same mythology, or just kind of looking at the numbers. This is a weird pattern, but it works. 6 plus an understood 1 is 7. 7 pi over 6. Follow the diagonal. 4 plus an understood 1 is 5. 5 pi over 4. Follow the diagonal. 3 plus an understood 1 is 4. 4 pi over 3. And you just keep following the diagonals for quadrants 3 and 4. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 pi over 3. Follow the diagonal. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 pi over 4. Eventually, these numbers will just hold. 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 pi over 6. And that, boys and girls, is the unit circle in all of its glory. Good luck.